Hello, Kindred Spirits. Welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin, and today we're going to be looking into your month of December as well as Sagittarius season to see what is impacting you or influencing your energy this month. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so welcome back, my beautiful kindred spirits, and anyone new who may be joining us here on the channel today. It's wonderful to have you all here as we start to dive into your month of December as we head towards holiday season as well as the end of the year, which definitely shows up in your guys' piles. So we're going to be seeing how that all connects as well as other energies that pop up and crop up as we move through them. But if you want to look even further past the reading that we do here to look more personally and into the nitty-gritty of not only your month but any question or query that has been on your mind, we can do a snail mail reading for you for either right now or anything you'd like to look into. But I'm also going to be very soon providing some New Year's readings as well as the month progresses, so do keep your eyes peeled out for those. And as Yule is approaching, you're welcome to get some Yule spell and ritual papers to really enhance your rituals for petitions, to use in spell jars and spell bags, and to use in your own art magic, which you can see in my grimoire video how I've used it in the past. So all of that will be down below in my link tree if you want to really dive deeper into your magic or into a private reading. And let's go ahead and look at your piles here. So for each of the piles here, I have 3 different shapes of crystal quartz, and the first one here is sort of this crackly egg shape. So this is the crystal for pile number 1, so if you're called to this one, then pile number 1 might be yours. For pile number 2 here, we have more of a traditional crystal quartz crystal that formed more naturally. So that is pile number 2. And then last but not least here for pile number 3, we have either a heart sort of shape or what I like to call the bean shape. So that is pile number 3. So before you start heading off to the timestamps, I like to invite you to take a deep and cleansing breath here with me to really look into your piles a little bit more deeply, to connect to your own intuition as we move forward. And I just personally really find them quite relaxing. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath together here now. So as always, there's no right or wrong way to choose your piles here. You can choose all 3 of the piles, you can flip-flop between them, you can take bits and pieces as you feel you need to as you move through the piles. There really are no rules or any right way. The timestamps will be down below in the description alongside the chapter marks of this video. And like I said earlier, if you want to look even deeper, I do provide snail mail readings and there's wonderful reviews and all of that down below. So thank you so much for being here with me so far today. Happy birthday to any Sagittariuses out there, by the way. Forgot to mention that, but happy birthday. And let's get right into group number 1. Hello, group 1. If you've decided to choose this little crystal shape in the shape of an egg, then this is the pile for you for the month of December. We are going to be looking into not only your main energies for December, but also the biggest blessings, energy in your favor, romantic or relationship reading stuff, and as well we're also going to be looking into Sagittarius season. So we're going to have a lot of different facets that we're going to be playing with, but not diving too in depth, as we're going to keep a kind of overview for the month. So we're going to have the charms and all of the different decks and supplies here, which I'll have listed in the description down below in case you're curious to see what we use here. Feel free to get yourself hydrated, get some water, get something cozy or, a nice calm space, and we're going to get right into it. So let's look first for you, group 1, into your month of December. So these are going to be 3 cards to represent the main energies coming in most for the month of December. So do feel free to add your own spin, add your own energy into the cards here, and let's see. Group 1, what you got coming in. Already immediately we have like the delivery of packages, messages, emails, something that you've been waiting on coming in. Like that's immediate with this Page of Swords here. let's look a little further. Goodness, goodness, goodness. They are flying out cards. And then we also had that one that tried to flip on the top. So you're actually going to have 4 cards here, and they all were delivered quick and fast. So this is already telling me that this is just in general, intuitively, going to be a very quick, fast-paced, fast-moving month, which I feel like for most of us, December here in the Northern Hemisphere during the holiday season is quite fast. But, you know, it's still sometimes stating the obvious is still true. So here we are with the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Swords, the King of Wands, the Page of Swords. We have a lot of people, so this could also be a very social month, as well as the King of Pentacles. Oh my goodness, I just realized, yeah, you have all court cards. All 4 of these are court cards, and we have it in every suit other than the cups, which is telling me that, you know, you might be feeling a little bit more quick-paced, quick-moving, quick and fast delivery with messages and comments and replying back to people and things like that, but you might not be the most compassionate or the most empathetic when it comes to this month, so, and even to yourself. So that's just something I picked up on just based off of the cards that you have here. So as you move through the month, maybe give yourself a little bit more grace, a little bit more compassion, and give others a little bit more compassion. Maybe think through your words a little bit more carefully before just jumping into certain conversations that might be in need of a little bit more careful consideration. But because we have so many different characters here, you might feel that you are one or more of these court cards here, these characters, these people, these archetypes. So you might be feeling really, really called to one or more of them. So I'm just going to talk about them generally here. So let's start out first with the fact that you got 2 kings and then you got 2 sword cards. So let's start first with the king, since we've already talked a bit about the Page of Swords here. So we have 2 different kings coming up here, which totally makes sense for Sagittarius season. You don't have to be Sagittarius to explore the energy that is Sagittarius season right now. And right now, Sagittarius is a sort of fire sign, which is really giving off this King of Wands energy. It also can give off a little bit of Leo. And then over here in the King of Pentacles, we're getting more of this wisdom from this owl here, piercing right at us, both of them looking directly into our eyes, a bit into our soul, right? So when we blend these together, it really gives us that Sagittarius energy, because it has a lot to do with a type of person or an archetype in which you might be feeling this month, where you feel very much like a go-getter. You want to get things done. You have so many ideas in your mind. You have so many things you want to adventure out towards, you're getting curious about, or skills you want to try out, or something new that you have this avenue that you're just set on. There's a target, there's a focus. But on the other side of it, there's this wisdom that keeps like popping in your head saying like, well, we've tried this before and it didn't work, or we tried to do this and it didn't work that way. And there's like this little voice on the other side of it saying, you know, trying to hold us back. But the great thing about Sagittarius is, instead of using that wisdom, that past experience as something that holds us back, we rather take wisdom, take learned lessons from that, and use it as fuel to move us forward. So I really see that with these 2 coming forward here, is that you might be feeling this like sort of uplifting feeling, or like rising above a past situation that held you back towards a goal or skill or focus that you have this month that you have had a hard time being able to obtain up to this point. And then all of a sudden, like a bunch of passion, a bunch of fuel just sort of moves you towards that goal. So alongside that, we also had 2 different sword cards, right? So like I said, you might be feeling both or one or the other of these energies, but we have the Queen of Swords and the Page of Swords. The Queen of Swords giving us more of that headstrong sort of I got this kind of energy. The Queen of Swords is very quick to what they have to say. They're not always the most compassionate, but they are very, you know, skilled with their words, and they can be very careful with their words and the way that they speak and communicate. So when we come to swords, it has a lot to do with ideas and communication. So when we're looking at this, right, we're going to be looking at the way that you might be presenting your communication this month. And so like I said, you're going to be quite direct, or someone else. This is true too, right? We have the Page of Swords showcasing this influx of messages coming in towards the center. So it also could be that someone else in your life, if you're not really feeling this energy, is going to be quite direct towards you. There might be someone who has something they really want to say, and they're going to say it. So that's just something to keep in mind, as well as the fact that the Page of Swords, like I said, has a lot to do with delivering messages. So if you've been waiting for packages, if you've been waiting for things in the mail, or you've been wanting to send something out too, that this is a really prime time to be doing that. So those are the energies that we're really getting here, right? That go-getter focused, rise above energy, and then the energy of sort of direct communication, someone wanting to say something very directly without emotion, just really trying to get something out there. So we have that all showing up here, but let's look into a card to look into what is a blessing on its way into you. So for this month, so this could be something that is if you think of energy most in your favor, this is the energy most in your favor this month. So let's see what that is for you. I love these Prairie Majesty cards, especially for this sort of position in the spread, because they always give you questions to consider that you can use as sort of a jumping off point as you move through the month. So here we are with Endure, and we have this elk here alongside Where is my strength? So these are things you can ponder as the month goes forward, what you might be enduring, something that you might be, again, like it almost feels like endure as in rising above something that you endured before, you had a past experience with, and you're now rising above that experience, or not letting that past experience, sort of influence or inflict into the experience you now want, right? So sometimes we have past experiences that totally hold us back from opportunities, from focuses, from goals that we want in the future, because we have a lot of, fear or doubt or expectations that can hold us back. So this is telling me that you're enduring that, or you're moving through that. There's some sort of endurance throughout the month. And also because the month is so fast moving, so quick moving, I think your endurance or your strength in this month is the endurance, the way in which, oh my gosh, I can't speak as fast as the cards messages are coming in. But it feels like I said, the month is moving so quickly, but I feel like your strength this month is how you endure it, and how you are very quick on your feet and nimble and flexible with things to be able to be very capable of moving through this fast moving month. So that is what we have for most in your favor. But I now want to look into and pivot a little bit here to look into a relationship message. So this is just something to keep in mind when it comes to your relationships this month. And as we have so many different court cards here, I'm definitely curious. So this could be towards any of these people, these characters here that maybe you already feel a connection to, and you're like, ooh, that's definitely my dad, or ooh, that's definitely, this person in my life, whatever it might be. But you can look into any kind of relationship, spiritual, friendships, family, relationships of any kind. So let's go ahead and see that collective message here for you. Group 1. Ooh, we have Foxglove here with confidence. Be what you want to see. What I like about Foxglove is it usually relates to like the fairies or the fae realm. And so Foxglove saying, be what you want to see is also just like believing is seeing sort of situation, which again, around this time of year, depending on, what you believe and what holidays you celebrate, right? There is this spirit in the air, this holiday spirit that can give us a lot of pep to our step, can help us move through difficult situations. We have a focus and a goal towards, but on top of that too, there is just like that confidence that could be coming through as well when it comes to your relationships too, that there might be something that may have been missing, or something that you've been waiting for, or you just have to believe and have faith in a certain relationship and endure it to see what comes through on the other side. Maybe you just need that little bit more of a push. And like to not give up on someone or something right away. Every situation is different though, so take it how you are seeing it, use your own intuition here. But we're also going to look into one final message for Sagittarius season and then the charms. But if you are enjoying this reading, do be sure to give this video a like. Really does help the channel, so thank you. And like I said, we're going to look into your Sagittarius message. So, like I said, Sagittarius season is for everyone, and it has a lot to do with independence, adventure, wisdom, and just really going for something despite the odds, despite the risks, despite the past experiences that might be holding us back or expectations. So I want to see if there's an experience or a lesson that we can sort of overcome this month. So what lesson might be coming through for you this month? Group 1. Definitely be sure to send in your own energy here. Always does make a difference as I move through these. Ooh, interesting. So you got grandmother weeping willow, which I always think of as they use the word here release, but I always think of flexibility. Like if you ever think of like a weeping willow, they are super flexible, right? You can twist them and turn them, you can knot them, you can use them for all sorts of magic in that way. So the fact that we have this showing up here with endurance and this idea of like confidently moving through a situation, overcoming something, and having the adaptability there, having the flexibility there for this month, I can see that definitely being a part of this experience you might be overcoming. But on top of that, like I said, there's other things here with release. So it says bend, sway, swing, let loose. Anchored flexibility supports deliverance. It's also the number 32. And yeah, that's just really what I'm getting here. Just it feels like it's twisting, it's moving, and it feels very casual. It feels very in tune with itself versus, trying to twist themselves into knots. So I really feel like just trusting your gut, trusting your ability to flex and be nimble this month is a huge strength for you, and is also a lesson that you might be moving through. So those are the cards that I have here. But like I said, we're going to be pulling you some charms. So I'm going to put this here to look into some focus charms. But if we get anything else on the other cards, we'll look at those too. So let's go ahead and pull you some charms. Group 1. Okay, we have quite a few showing up today. They are definitely chatty. So these are the things that we have. We have a whole little cluster showing up right here. So we'll look at that here in a moment. But we do have over here next to grandmother weeping willow, and next to that fiery Sagittarius energy, we have that release. And what you might be releasing is this feeling of being super selfless and giving and giving and giving and giving to the point where it can break you, or you can have burnout, or you're just not really nourishing your body, your soul, your mind, right? So there is this feeling of release and allowing yourself to be flexible, but also with that staring in your eyes feeling, and the fact that this sort of splits right through release is that you don't have to give all of yourself to someone, or all of yourself even to this situation that you might be focusing on, right? It could go both ways, but there is this feeling at least that you might be releasing something when it comes to serving others and maybe not serving yourself. We have this romance charm showing up all the way over here, so maybe romance just really isn't your top priority this month, or more romantic relationships, but that is showing up here all the way at the edge. On this side, we have a few other things when we come to that Page of Swords about delivering messages and communication, and then strength, we have the Star. And the Star has a lot to do with like rethinking things, renewal, hope. And so when it comes to messages coming in and maybe someone that you haven't talked to in a while, or that direct communication, someone opening a direct line of communication, there could be some hope coming in here, or renewal, a reconciliation with someone that might be showing up here. We also have, like the balance charm too, which tells me that something is balancing back out. And then we have the number 8, which has a lot to do with balance and infinity, like someone coming back into your life because there's just more that needs to be said, maybe even closure. And then we have a few other things happening in a little cluster here. So we have this little bat that I recently put in here. It's a little cat bat. And I'm feeling really called to the wings because you also have the travel charm. So we have a lot to do with wings, we have travel, we have responsibilities, safety, the safety key, self-care, and a little pumpkin here, which always makes me think of obviously Cinderella with like the pumpkin carriage. So believing is more than seeing kind of situation. And the fact that like a cat bat doesn't exist either. It's just showcasing like something that you've been maybe wanting to travel to, or you've had responsibilities that have been getting in your way, that you've been wanting to keep it safe, keep it, don't risk anything for this belief, for this fantasy, for this dream, for this thing that does not exist. It seems like you're going for it a bit this month, that you're kind of throwing safety to the wind or throwing caution to the wind a little bit, for your own self-care, to release something and to, release a bit of like an inner child, an inner dream that maybe, or inner travel that you've been wanting to do. Maybe not inner travel, but just travel or adventures you've been wanting to go on. So there is something here showcasing you taking a few more risks and trying a few more things, getting a little bit more adventurous this month. So those are all of the cards and charms that I have here for you, Group 1. I do hope this has been useful to you, and if it has, do be sure to give this video a like, as well as let me know in the comments down below how it resonated. Always curious to see what you guys think about the charms and the cards and how your own intuition sort of blended in there. And if you haven't already and you're interested in pick-a-card readings, charm casting into art magic, and things along those lines, then definitely be sure to subscribe, as I put out new videos every single Monday that you definitely don't want to miss. And you're also welcome if you want to look even further into a reading here, or into any reading that's really on your mind. I do private snail mail readings where I send a letter to you in the mail if that's something that interests you, especially since around the new year I'll be doing some new year readings, so definitely keep your eyes out for those. But also I have other offerings such as Yule spell and ritual papers and other more queer magic related things. So if you're interested in any or all of that, it'll be down below in the description to look deeper. And I do hope you enjoyed the reading here today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye! Hello Group 2, if you've decided to choose this crystal piece of crystal quartz, then this is the pile for you for your month of December, as well as Sagittarius season, as we move into this more adventurous and wise, independent sign. As we do, we're going to be exploring not only the main energies, but also more relationship messages, Sagittarius messages, charm messages, as well as some blessings, all of which we'll be doing with the charms and all of the different decks over here, which I'll have listed in the description down below in case you're curious. And yeah, do feel free to get yourself cozy, get some water, get a nice blanket, whatever you need to do, and we're gonna get right on into it. So Group 2, what do you have going on for the month of December? So do feel free to send your energy in, really bring yourself into the reading, and let's see, Group 2, what do you got going on for the month of December? So we're starting off strong with the Eight of Wands, very similar to the first card that came out for Group 1 as well. So if you find that this isn't really your pile, maybe check out Group 1. But very fast moving month, very, very direct focused month for sure. So let's see what else is coming in for you, Group 2. Whoop. Cards be popping out today. We also have the Justice card. Interesting. I want to see how that is aligning with everything else. And then we have the World. Okay, so we have a few different things showing up here, and they all feel distinctly different. So let's start off first with the Eight of Wands. So like I said, very fast, powerfully moving month. As you can see, this deer is leaping into the air. We've got this maybe pheasant or some sort of bird following right alongside and after them, and there's just this fast flowing, it feels like a rushing river. Like there's no way to stop it, there's no way to, you just have to either endure it or, flow with that water. And so I really feel like you're very much flowing, you're very much in your flow, in a flow state this month, and moving right on on through it, and navigating every rock and every little crevice that gets in your way. I think putting in rigidity this month, putting in boundaries, and not necessarily boundaries with others, but like, putting in like expectations on yourself and trying to overdo things or stress yourself out to the point that like the rigidity really gets in your way, I think is going to really have more of a consequence against this flow that we have here. So following the river, following the energy, following your own intuition and your instincts and where that takes you, versus trying to follow an expectation or follow some sort of script, is going to be your best bet this month for sure. And it already seems like you're already working in that energy really well, or you will proceed to be, because otherwise you do have a bit of burnout maybe on the other side of things, or you have a lot of obstacles that kind of might show in your path. Because we have Justice here, and Justice is a card that I explained in my community posts recently with a little poll, but Justice is one of those cards that really talks about the word like consequences, and I don't mean it like a bad consequence or a good consequence, but just consequences in general to our actions, cause and effect. So it really seems like there's something in your life that you might find has quite a big ripple effect, or has something that something you do this month that's going to have quite a big ripple effect, whether that's a good ripple or somewhere more negatively for you. Regardless, down that river, there's going to be some sort of opportunity or sort of shift in one direction that is showing up, because Justice doesn't want to, snub us or try to give us, one or the other thing. All they're concerned about is getting those scales back into balance. So something might be out of balance, and by making the shift, they're just trying to get things back into balance. So when we look at this Justice card, it's definitely not something personal. It doesn't mean someone's trying to do something in your life to make something happen, but it's just some sort of ripple effect that might happen this month, whether good or bad, that might shift things. So just being aware of your actions this month, maybe double checking things a little bit more, looking back over stuff a little bit more might be helpful for you, to make sure there aren't any missteps or actions you didn't plan to take. And then lastly here, not surprisingly, this month is about wrapping things up. We have the World card, and the World card is all about wrapping up those loose ends, finishing things off, really good endings, right? Endings you can just tie up and close off with a nice fine bow. So this is definitely talking about the end of the year coming in, if you followed that as the end of the year for you. But it's the end of like the 12-month calendar. And so there's definitely things you might be wrapping up or wanting to finish up this month that you are definitely considering and keeping in mind. So that's really the energy we have here. It's pretty straightforward, fast-moving month. There might be something that you need to be aware of when it comes to an action that you take that might really pivot things. And then we have the World card talking about wrapping up loose ends, which is pretty, on brand for December. So keeping those in mind, let's go ahead and look into a card to represent a blessing on its way in. So this could be from spirits, your spirit team guides in your favor, but it can also just be an energy that is most in your favor this month, or a tool that's most in your tool belt this month, or something that's going to be really useful for you this month. So let's go ahead and see what that more positive message is. Group 2. What do we got coming in for you, Group 2? Ooh, oh my gosh, and it's even got the river. That's so crazy. Okay, so what we have here is the box turtle, and it says, what is always mine, and carry. So it's saying, even though we have that river, right, we have this really fast moving energy that you're, like I was talking about, that you're going to have to just sort of follow and flow with, versus sort of create restriction or expectations against. It's reminding you that even though you're going down this, that doesn't mean you don't have support or others who can carry you through it. Or on top of that, you might have things that you just physically need to carry with you, right? Like if you're moving house, or if you're changing lane somewhere, right? There's something more physical or tangible happening, that there's something that can really support you, or there's something that maybe you can be taking with you. This can also be like coping mechanisms you've learned from different places, experience that you've, learned from and gained that you can carry with you to help you through and navigate this situation. But the point is, you're not alone, whether that's with something that you have or someone that you can find support in, even if that's yourself. So that's a wonderful one to be getting for your month. And then on top of that too, that I just realized, a turtle also can retreat into themselves and retreat inward. So again, that's why I'm really feeling like, there's even just support already within you that you can, pull back out, past wisdom, past lessons, past learned ideas and skills, and put them to use this month, or to use them to kind of have a place to retreat, even as you're navigating that river. So some self-care time or some time to yourself could be really important as well. So that is your card there for your blessing. But let's go ahead and pivot a little bit and look into a relationship card. So this is going to be a collective message, but you're welcome to send in the energy of a specific person you're thinking about, a specific spirit, even if it's just about yourself and your relationship with yourself. But we're going to go ahead and look into what might be coming in. So group 2 here. What do we got coming in collectively for group 2? Okay, so we have peony, health, focus on all the parts to make the whole. So we have peony, health. So when I'm looking at this one too, it can represent literally looking after yourself and your health in that way, but it also can be talking about strengthening relationships that are already in your life, making sure that they're healthy. It definitely feels like the fact that this is sort of blooming over here, and that you have so much focus that's already coming in. There could be a situation that helps you to strengthen a relationship this month and really gives you an opportunity to create more either healthy boundaries with someone, or to create tie things up, hash things or re-examine things with someone in your life to create more of a healthy relationship with them. So that's really what I'm seeing from this peony card, but you're also welcome to look at this more deeply with your own intuition and depending on the person you were thinking about. But with that in mind, we are going to go ahead and move to our final card, but we are going to be pulling some charms here in a moment as well to get those more nitty-gritty details. But if you have enjoyed this reading so far, do be sure to give this video a like. It really does help the video and the channel, so thank you. But we're going to dive right into a Sagittarius message. So like I said, Sagittarius is a season all about kind of this go-getter focused energy, this energy of just like putting, those people who throw a dart at a map and they just go for it. And it's not necessarily that they don't know the risks, that they don't know that it could be very scary or difficult, but that they're going in knowing that it's going to be difficult and doing it anyway. You know what I mean? That's kind of the energy that I'm really looking into. So I want to see whether it's going to be a lesson that you learn this month, or because of the cards that you got here, if there's anything else that might be coming up related to those sort of energies I just mentioned. So we're going to see how those sort of work together. So group 2 here. What do we got coming in for group 2 when it comes to a lesson to learn for Sagittarius season, or how to best use Sagittarius season to their advantage? So group 2. So what we have here is Grandmother Sunflower Nourishment. So pretty. I love that this is a very subdued and simple sunflower as well. The number here is 10 in case that resonates for anyone, and it says here, turn to what you love, whatever feels like sunshine, let it nourish you. So again, this feeling of direction, this feeling of focus, and all of them are looking in this direction, which when you think about tarot, a lot of the time they talk about, looking at the direction. So this is really looking toward both positively and to the future. So there's a lot of positive future energy showing up here, that there's this feeling of you really nurturing a positive, optimistic outlook on the year the year to come, the month to come, or, maybe the holiday season, something like that. But there's a very optimistic point of view that's coming in from the Sagittarius season message. And the other thing about sunflowers too is if the sky is not sunny, sunflowers will actually look to each other to kind of, get more vitamin D. I'm sure there's an actual evolutionary reason for it, but they look towards each other for support, right? And so in this idea, and the idea like I was talking about with maybe having support to help carry you down this river, to move you through this and to give you more of that optimistic point of view, it could just be that you need to, find nourishment not only within yourself, but also within others who can help support you. And maybe that comes from, strengthening bonds and strengthening relationships in your life as well. And that being more of a focus or a lesson to learn from. Sagittarius season can also bring back lessons that we've learned from in the past, but sometimes we forget. So this could also be rehashing an experience or rehashing a lesson that you once learned, but have slowly forgotten, and are revisiting. So those, like I said, are all of the cards, but we are going to pull some charms here as well. So what I want to do is see any specific charms and see what they come up with here on their own, but we're also going to see if anything else flies elsewhere. So do feel free to send in your energy to the bits and bobs here, and let's go ahead and mix them up for you, group 2. Okay. Ooh, interesting. Alrighty, so let me go ahead and zoom you in here. Interestingly, both you and group 1 got this little cat bat, which is like a mythical creature. So whenever I see this one, it kind of makes me think of like something that is so out there and so beyond what you know, right? So there might be something that comes up this month that is just very much beyond what you know, right? There's something that you've maybe had an expectation towards, or an expectation you've had on someone else, that they're going to break. They're going to show you more true colors or show you more about themselves that you just didn't see, as configuring or making sense, but it does. So there's something that's just going to surprise you this month or give you, where you like a double take, So that's what I'm really getting here from the bat cat. We also have the reversed version of the, I keep wanting to say snowflake, but the snowman here, or the snow pal here, which is all about someone giving you the cold shoulder, or giving you like, they're not really talking with you, they're very much, kind of cold with you. And the fact that it's reversed and kind of pointing towards this health card is making me think, like I said again, like someone might be warming back up to you. Maybe they're going to show you more of their true colors, or you're going to show them their true color, your true colors. But there's going to be a shift in perspective here. And the reason why I also talk about a shift in perspective is we actually have like the perspective charm of looking from a different perspective when it comes to the Eiffel Tower. And I don't just mean because it's very high up, but actually when the Eiffel Tower was built, most people in the city absolutely hated it. They wanted it taken down. They wanted it gone. And now it's actually something, the city treasures. So there's this shift in perspective. There's this shift in opinion that can happen over time. And so that might also be happening with someone in your life over this first month. And that's maybe where that nourishment is coming in again. Right here in the center of the sunflower, we have a little 4-leaf clover of luck and optimism. So definitely making sense with what we talked about earlier. We got the charm of the quarter. So whenever I see a quarter, it tells me like a quarter of a year or a quarter of time, right? And because it kept teetering and teetering and teetering, I wonder if that had anything to do for you guys intuitively with the box turtle. I feel like a specific few of you are going to probably already have an idea of what that means to you very personally, but otherwise, I think it's just like, it kind of depends for each of you. And then here for the justice card, where I talked about an action you might take that has quite a big, impact, or a butterfly effect of some sort, we have the Simba charm. The Simba charm has a lot to do with this specific Simba. Makes me think of youth and innocence and naivety or naivete, and this feeling of just wandering into things they probably shouldn't be wandering into, like an elephant graveyard. And kind of finding themselves in kind of a pickle. So it really is telling me that you might find yourself in a situation where you really just kind of go all in and maybe don't really think about or research deeper or look into the fine details, right? So if you're signing documents, look at the fine details. If you're doing something that you feel like is going to have quite a ripple effect, definitely take a second and pause and look at those consequences or look at those details, because I think that's going to be important this month rather than just sort of running into it. But those are all of the charms and cards here. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you out so you can see everything in full. But if you did enjoy this reading, do be sure, like I said, to give this video a like. Really does help, so thank you. And also let me know in the comments down below how it resonated for you, if there were specific cards, charms, or maybe if you saw multiple piles, how they connected. I would love to hear. And if you haven't already and would like to, do consider subscribing, as I put out new videos every single Monday for pick a card readings, for art magic, by looking into my grimoire, and I also have a whole master guide on charm casting if you want to look deeper into that sort of realm. So all of that is through subscribing and looking at my channel. And you're also welcome to look into ways to support this space even further and support yourself through the private readings that I do for snail mail readings, where I send a letter to you in the mail. It's typewritten on a vintage typewriter, wax sealed closed for your eyes only, and is on any question or query on your mind. So if you're interested in those, lots of helpful reviews are down below through my Instagram, and you can also see more information on other offerings I have, such as spell and ritual papers and rainbow earrings for the queer community. So you can check those all out down below if you're curious. And I do hope this has been useful to you. I'm thankful for you guys popping in here today to just check these all out. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello group 3, if you decide to choose this little bean shape of crystal quartz, then this is the pile for you as we navigate and explore your month of December, Sagittarius season, blessings on their way in, relationship messages, charms, and so much more. All of the different decks and supplies here I'll have listed down below in case you're curious of what we get up to today, but we are just going to dive right into it. So do feel free to get yourself cozy, get yourself some water. I just took a nice little break between your pile and pile 2 just that I could get some water and things like that as well. So feel free to get yourself cozy and send in your energy, send in your vibes, right? And really, co-create this reading with me if you want. And we're going to dive right into it. So what are the main energies coming in for you for the month of December, group 3? Group 3, what is in store for you for the month of December? Things to keep in mind. So first off, we have the 10 of Pentacles. And then we'll look a little further. So we have the 10 of Pentacles here showing up right off the bat, which has a lot to do with family. It has a lot to do with, money and finances, which totally makes sense. I know I bring up the holiday season a lot around this time of year, but for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere and for those of us who celebrate, I hardly ever have cards fall out like that. That was interesting. Around this time of year, I mean, it's hard not to bring up here in the Northern Hemisphere. But we also have the Fool showing up here, and it flew out, right? It launched itself out. So I definitely am going to keep that in mind when it comes to how we'll interpret that one. Let's get one final card. So definitely really bring in that energy through time and space here. And let's see, group 3. What do we have here? We have the Death card, as well as the 4 of Pentacles right below it. So we actually got 4 cards for you all today. So we have the 10 of Pentacles, the Fool, the Death card, and the 4 of Pentacles. What a little craft of character or cast of characters and archetypes here showing up. I'm feeling really called to this feeling that you're changing things up this month, because the Death card is one that, a lot of people, if you aren't familiar, oh my gosh, I'm fumbling over my words today, it just is what it is, but if you're not familiar with the Death card, it can be one that can be quite scary, right? But it doesn't actually mean, what you're probably thinking, and it has more to do with the idea of the rebirth and death cycle that happens, those little things that we're letting go of, releasing, and kind of rebirthing into our lives all the time, every day, constantly, right? The seasons of the year, the changes that we're, embracing and making in our own lives. And the Death card is reminding us that there's something in your life right now that is coming to a close that gives you opportunities for something new to come in and replace that. And so, or to even to grieve that and to move into something new that you can level up in or to move further in. So when I'm thinking of this, it makes me think of like the end of the year, obviously with December being the end of the year. So there could be something that, you're ready to wrap up, or maybe you're even feeling a bit of dread for the fact that the end of the year is almost here. Like, oh my gosh, where did 2023 go? Right? You might be feeling a little bit of that. And you also might be feeling, sort of the purging energy that comes specifically from this card. So when I look at this, it makes me think too, like needing to let things go and reorganize your space, because you can see that everything here in the center has been sort of purged through, and they've let some things go, and in doing so they feel so much lighter. They feel like there is so much more to grow off of. There's so much more growth that can happen here, versus holding on and hanging on to everything, which the Four of Pentacles is showcasing might be something that you're maybe dealing with right at this time of year. There can be a bit of dread. There can be a bit of holding on really tightly to the end of the year, to something else in your life, to whatever it is that you're feeling, this Death card, where you're feeling a bit of fear or like, ooh, I don't want to let that go. There could be something happening this month that's causing you to kind of have to reevaluate that, or having to let something go in order, I know it's cheesy, but in order to grow, because otherwise, just like many things in nature, right, if we don't prune them, or if we don't move or let certain things go, if the trees don't let their leaves go, right, they're going to have a hard time over the winter being able to survive. And so there might be something that as we move closer towards the winter, at least here in the northern hemisphere, that there might be something you are considering letting go, or there might be just something that you're going to have to reevaluate in terms of those two cards. And the Ten of Pentacles sort of shows that off too, that it might be related to family, or it could be related to your home, to your finances, to your workplace, to your career. Very tangible things in your life, right? Your home, your family, your career, those sorts of things. So it might be related to that. And then on top of that, we have the card that just sort of flew right out, right? This one just flew right into your reading here, and that is the Fool. And the Fool is giving me this energy that even though you have all of this energy sort of showcasing like, no, I don't want to do that, or no, I don't want to, or I'm pushing past or pushing back against something. The Fool is showing the very opposite energy. They are darting into that room. They are darting into new opportunities, new skills, the new year, the new relationships, whatever it might be, this new beginning that can birth from the death and rebirth cycle. They are barging right in. And the fact that it just flew right out of the deck like that is that I think you might surprise yourself. I think you might surprise yourself by the weight that you are carrying, by holding on to whatever this might be. And that when you let it go, much like a tree does after you prune it, right, you can literally see it like, release that weight, release that tension, and to be able to really breathe for a moment. And I see that sort of showing up here for you for the month of December with that Fool card. So there could be a bit of a surprise coming internally from yourself. So those are the main energies, but as always, we're going to look a little bit deeper. We're going to look a little bit more into your month to look into a blessing card. So you can see this as a blessing from spirit guides, the universe, your spirit team, however you wish, but you can also see this just generally as a card that's most in your favor, or an energy most in your favor this month, right? If you had a toolbox, this is the tool most usable for you this month, or one you should definitely pick up. So let's see what that is for you, group 3. All right, so we have blow with the wind and the element of air. How can I deepen trust that my intuition knows the way? And as an earth sign myself, I find this a very difficult card sometimes to get. Maybe you are more of an air sign and this isn't as difficult, but because of the cards that you've gotten here with a lot of stability, a lot of like holding on to things very, very tightly where there's so much tension being built up here, I feel like the thing most in your favor this month is to literally go with the flow or go with the wind, to allow yourself to be a little bit more breezy this month, to be a little bit less tight and have these heavy expectations on yourself. And that, like this question says, how can you deepen trust with your own intuition and knowing that it is leading you not astray, but in the right way? So that's just something to ponder as the month goes forward. But we're going to pivot in direction here and look at something else, which is a relationship message. So this could be on any relationship in your life. This is going to be a collective message. So if you want to look deeper, you are welcome to get a private reading or something like that. But we're going to look into a message here for any kind of relationship in your life that you want to sort of assign this to. So this could be with a friend, a family member, a romantic relationship, a relationship with spirit or yourself, however you wish. But do feel free to meditate on that and send that into the cards. And we're going to see the collective message here for you, group 3. What do we got coming in for relationships? Group 3. I feel like one is just waiting to spring out. So I'm just sort of waiting it out. But maybe it's this one. Ooh, that totally makes sense. You got Mexican marigold with renewal, which, right, very fitting. Time to begin again, stronger and better. So there's definitely maybe there's something showing up here within relationships that like we said, we had something about career, tangible things in your life, and we were talking about family because this is very much a family card. It doesn't have to be, it can be chosen family, but family nonetheless. So I really feel like this might be related to family with all of the cards that you already have here, showcasing that there's something new or there's a new family member that maybe is about to come in, or it could be that you might be giving a second chance to someone in your life, maybe a second chance to yourself. But whatever it might be, there's something about renewal with this person or this relationship. So definitely keep that in mind. And then to finish off your reading, we actually have 2 more things we're going to do. We're going to do a Sagittarius message here with 1 more card. And then we're also going to, Sagittarius season that is, we're also going to pull some charms to finish off the reading. But if you have enjoyed this reading so far, do be sure to give this video a like. Always curious to hear your guys' feedback, and it really does help the channel, so thank you. But we're going to look into a Sagittarius season card. So like I said, happy birthday to any Sagittariuses out there. But we are going to see how your energy is sort of connecting with the Sagittarius season. So Sagittarius season is all about independence, action. It's about making steps forward, and it's also about reevaluating the wisdom that we've learned in the past and sort of rehashing lessons that we've learned in the past that we've forgotten, right? Sometimes I have that happen where I see a tarot card and I think of it as one thing, and then 2 years ago I thought of it as a completely different lesson, right? And so there's definitely things that happen in your lives in our lives where we've forgotten lessons, and we have to rehash or reevaluate those or have them come back in. And so we're going to see what that lesson might be for you. So group, you know what, I actually think it might have been that one. Group 3 here, you got Grandmother Hummingbird with joy, and it's the number 17 in case you follow up on any numerology. And we also have what it says here in a little haiku: happiness blossoms in gratitude and belief. It flowers for you. Ooh, I love that. So joy being a really big part of your month, and maybe being able to find joy. Like I said, you might surprise yourself this month, and the fact that we have this little bird flying up here and then you got a hummingbird is making me think that these are very much connected. So I really feel like you're going to surprise yourself with the joy that you might feel, that release, right? Like I said, like a tree after it's been pruned, or after a really heavy weight has been lifted, the joy, the giggly giddiness that you might feel from this renewal, from this change and this shift and this purging of things or letting things go that have been, holding or putting so much weight on you. So this one's very simple, just joy as being a really big part of your month moving forward if that lesson is relearned, right? So this is sort of the golden ticket after that more difficult renewal experience has been met. So those are the cards, but like I said, we're going to look deeper into the charms here. So what I want to do today is put some charms here in the center, and then we'll see if anything else falls on the outer cards as well. But I wanted to give a little bit more focus today. So do feel free to send your energy in, as always, into the charms. And let's mix them up, group 3. Okay, lots of circles that I kept feeling. So we're going to see what that means, if that's cycles that you're relearning, or, the death and rebirth cycle and how those are connected and intrinsically connected. But like I said, we have a few different ones that are showing up here. The fact that you got renewal earlier, and then you got the hope charm of the star. So whenever I see the star, it represents hope, and it represents, looking up, and it can also represent navigation and things like that. But the fact that we had it fall on these 2 family members here is making me think that there's hope for, a renewal, a reconciliation with someone, a reconnection with someone, giving someone a second chance or giving yourself a second chance, some sort of forgiveness possibly as well that might be coming in. We also have a little toy plane in the center of everything. When I see the toy plane, it represents to be a little bit more playful, give yourself a little bit more of a childlike point of view, taking things a little less seriously, giving you those simple joys in life too, or if you have children or children around you, that they can be, a source of joy in your life and give you a lot of direction and purpose. We also got this puzzle piece charm, which usually different puzzle pieces, depending on the shape, mean different things to me. And this one is the reversed meaning. So this one usually represents feeling kind of pigeonholed or kind of backed against a corner. So this joy instead is very much the opposite of that, right? It is unbridled. It is wild and free. So that's really nice to see here. And then we have just a few more in the center. Like I said, we had lots of circles, which we'll mention here in a second, but we also got that's interesting. We have the evil eye showing up here in the top. I'll have to figure out how to get that out, but I always love when charms sort of connect like this. But this is the moving forward charm, which the Sagittarius during Sagittarius season is the perfect time to do that, right? They are very action oriented. They are moving forward, and you seem to be very protected in the actions that you are taking by spirit for sure. And then lastly here we have a few other charms. So we have the washer charm. This represents sometimes being wishy-washy about something, but I was really feeling it more as like literally washing or cleaning, in the idea of like the death and rebirth cycle, cleaning things up, giving yourself a fresh, clean start. But there definitely seems to be, with these cycles, a bit of that pushback, because we have the pessimistic little mouse here. They're always sort of, they got their hands on their hips and they're like, And then you have it connecting with the little record charm, which makes me think like a broken record, right? So this is something that you've been in, this sort of situation, or this mindset has been something you've been in for quite a while. Maybe it's gotten you into a bit of a rut, and it's been very hard to move forward. But having that joy, that childlike wonder, that freedom in mind, when sort of as a positive consequence to, or a positive release maybe is the right word, towards this renewal and this death and rebirth cycle coming into your life right now, I think is going to give you more of incentive to move forward. Definitely incentive to move towards this renewal and this needed weight to be lifted that no longer serves you. So those are all of the charms and cards that I have for you here. Very straightforward, but I think a very powerful message for you all this month. If you did enjoy this reading, though, do be sure to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below how it resonated. As always, very, very curious to see how the different charms really connected with you, how the cards really, called out to you, and if you were really feeling the different messages that came through, or if your intuition was showing you something different. Would love to hear your thoughts. And if you're interested in more pick a card readings like this, into looking deeper into charm casting or art magic or other more sort of witchy things, then do consider subscribing, as I put out new videos every single Monday on these pick a card readings and other educational videos. So if you did enjoy this reading, like I said, do feel free to check out the other offerings that I have down below for snail mail readings, where you can look further into any questions or queries on your mind. I will be doing New Year's readings, so look out for those, or feel free to message me ahead of time if that's something you're interested in. And I also have Yule spell and ritual papers and other fun offerings and reviews down below through my Instagram and the link tree. So thank you so much for being here with me today and sort of joining in here. And I do wish you the best for your month. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.